Welcome to Mindframes for Online Learning. I'm one of your presenters. I'm Pamela Santerre, the Interim Coordinator of Online Learning for Learn, and I'm joined by Carla Strecker, the Special Education Supervisor for Learn. Our contact information is on the screen. Please let us know if we can help you or your child be successful with online learning in any way that we can. This is the third of 3 videos in this course, and in this video, we will discuss Mindframes for families. As always, before we get started, just a short disclaimer, you know your child best. We are going to present some strategies and some helpful hints for you that we have found helpful for other families, but please take what you need from this and leave the rest behind. In the last video, we focused on the mind frames that we hope to develop in young people so that they become their own teachers, or in the language of schools, lifelong learners. Mind frames are ways of viewing the world, ways of thinking that can help frame how you see, talk with, and listen with your children. These are 10 mind frames that can help you assist your child in their learning, regardless of the structure of school, whether that's distance, blended, or in person. I'll turn it over to Carla for mind frame number 1.
Mindframe number 1, I am an evaluator of my impact on my child's learning. Impact is a powerful word. The question is, do your efforts ensure that your child learns something actually result in learning? Was there an impact on their learning? Too much attention is spent on the process and not enough on the outcomes. Do your homework, get on the Google Meet meeting, pay attention to the teacher, study. Those might be helpful in impact learning, but the question of impact has not yet been answered. We shouldn't focus narrowly on grades while overlooking the learning. We want children to earn good grades, but those grades should reflect learning and not compliance. This mind frame requires that you shift your thinking from compliance on tasks to the ways in which the tasks impact your child's learning. Remember, ask your child what they learned and not what they did. Help your child monitor their progress toward goals. Have discussions about what they understand success could look like as they begin an activity. Talk more about the learning than the grades. Celebrate the effort and the process. Choose something to learn yourself and model the ways in which you know that you are learning.
Mind frame number 2, I see the power of collaborating with others in parenting our children. The African proverb that it takes a village to raise a child speaks to the importance of collaboration in the emotional, psychological, and physical well-being of our young people. This collaboration begins within the family from birth, as parents and other caregivers learn to coordinate their viewpoints to create consistency. Children crave stability from the people they love and look to for guidance. It doesn't mean that everyone has to agree entirely on every point. However, the collective reliability of caring adults in a child's life forms a foundation of security that provides children with the confidence to try new things. To support collaboration with your child's teacher, you may begin by introducing yourself to your child's teacher so as to establish a relationship. And even better to do this with your child involved. There's no need to wait until back to school night to meet the teacher. Drop a quick email or leave a voice message that includes your contact information. Sometimes teachers can be hesitant to approach a parent, so this sends a clear signal that you welcome the opportunity. Remember, consistent messages from the family and school create a stable and reliable space for your child to thrive. One of the very best things that you can do for your child is to build their network. Your child's teachers are an important part of the team. Model for your child how you consider the viewpoints of others when working through a conflict at school. There is nothing to be gained from undermining the respect of your child for the school.
Mind frame number 3. I value what my child brings to the family and world. You are your children's advocate, encourager, guide, and protector. As an advocate, you seek out opportunities for children to grow. As an encourager, you console them when they are suffering and search for life lessons that accompany many challenges. As a guide, you make sure they regularly try new things that stretch them, but don't take the journey for them. And as their protector, you do their best to ensure their emotional and physical safety. In doing so, you learn about who your children are through their responses to the world around them. Some children are shy and reserved, while others are extroverts who are the center of attention everywhere they go. And these different personalities may coexist in the same household. Each child brings unique value to your family and to the world. As a keeper of your child's history, you have the singular viewpoint of watching them develop across many years. It's okay to share with their teacher the ways your children are valued in your family. Educators catch only a fleeting glimpse of who their students are outside an academic setting. Tell the teacher that this child is kind to their younger siblings, shares the same humor as their grandmother, or loves beating their older brother when they play board games. Those insights that only those insights that only you know help the teacher cultivate an appreciative eye of your child's caring and understand when they are a bit of a class clown or get a little too competitive with classmates. Remember, each child possesses unique value to the family and the world. Other people's children are equally of value. Resist comparing children. Celebrate and share what they each bring.
Mind frame number 4. I understand the centrality of my child. Most parents would confess that there have been times when a child has done something amazing and you think to yourself, he got that from me. On the other hand, when he's not a shining star, you think he's just like blank, which is usually someone from the other parent's family. Taking pride in your child's accomplishments is one of the many rewards of parenting. But it is important to remember that each child is their own unique individual and not clones of ourselves. Their accomplishments belong to them and not to their parents. The same is true for their struggles. As we learned in the mind frames for students in our previous video, children can be guided through their struggles. The learning that comes from the struggle is their own. Remembering the centrality of the child as an individual and not as an extension of yourself protects your relationship with them. It preserves the joy they experience when they achieve a goal, allowing it to fuel their sense of agency. When they fail, the security you exhibit as an adult and as a parent reminds them that you are there for them no matter what. Remember, each child is a unique individual and separate from you. Their accomplishments belong to them, as do their struggles. Parents are there to guide, console, celebrate, and accept them. That's your superpower.
Mind frame number 5. I have appropriately high expectations. High expectations are a powerful way to accelerate learning. In general, children rise to the expectations that they and the people around them have. It works in reverse as well. When there are minimal expectations, a child often accomplishes just that. Importantly, the expectations do need to be reasonable, but challenging. The Goldilocks principle should drive the expectations we have for children. Not too hard, not too easy, not too boring. There are 2 general types of goals, which are one way we can express our expectations. The first is mastery, or the accomplishments we hope for our children in terms of their learning. The second is performance, or the scores and the grades that they earn. Mastery goals are much more powerful in ensuring learning. We can remember to hold high and reasonable expectations for your children's learning. Don't be too overly influenced by report cards and grades in terms of your expectations. Talk to your child about their hopes and expectations for their learning. Help your child set mastery goals for learning.
Mind frame number 6. I listen, build trust, and know how to gradually release responsibility. There are 3 parts to this mind frame: listening, trust, and gradually releasing responsibility. Part 1, listening. The opposite of speaking is not waiting to speak again. It's listening. In terms of your child's learning, they need you to listen. They need you to hear them and the language they use. Listening allows you to know what struck them and what they're confused about. And listening helps you understand your child's perspective of the world. Trust. Trusting relationships are critical for growth. Trust involves age-appropriate honesty, reliability, and openness. When there is trust, children are more likely to take risks and feel comfortable making errors. And not just between you and your child. They look to see if you trust your teacher, their teacher. Part 3, gradually releasing responsibility. This is a framework for teaching that has been around for decades. It's useful for you as well. Slowly but steadily increase the responsibility that your child has for their learning. As they are able to assume that responsibility, you give them more. And if there's a problem, you may just have to take back some of that responsibility. These 3 principles, listening, trust, and a gradual release of responsibility, are valuable characteristics of effective partnerships with the school. Parent-teacher partners who make the effort to listen carefully are also more productive. Together, these 3 ensure that your child has the support necessary for learning. Without any one of these, being heard, developing trust, or increasing responsibility, your child's learning may suffer. Remember, listening can signal when you need to take action. Listening tells your child that they are important. Trust facilitates bonding and ensures the child that they can make errors. And finally, releasing responsibility demonstrates trust and expectations.
Mind frame number 7. I know the balancing act between developing autonomy, relatedness, and competence. Humans seek meaningfulness throughout their lives. Children's major sources of meaningfulness are family and school. Another way to understand meaningfulness is to view it as satisfaction. Young people who experience satisfaction at home and school see their choices as expressions of their authentic and valued selves. They feel connected to others and understand that they are cared about by others. And they believe that their actions have a positive impact on others. These beliefs about oneself are interconnected and each enhances the other. The first, autonomy, is fostered through the habit of being able to make choices that are reasonable and allow your child to reflect who they are. As an example, parents give toddlers opportunities to pick clothing items, even when the results are somewhat unconventional. The second, relatedness, is the belief on the part of the child that their actions and choices are supported by caring people. That sense of affinity and bonding forms the secure foundation that allows them to explore and try new things. As any parent who has sent a young child off for a new experience recognizes that the trembling lower lip indicates some anxiety that they overcome because they are secure that you will be there to support them. The third is competence, which is the belief that one's actions matter to others and are valued by people they care about. Competence is tied to a mastery of goal, whether it is setting the table or completing a college admissions application. We've discussed many times throughout this training that the importance of helping people set academic and non-academic goals, as it contributes to growing sense of their own competence and do more to appreciate their own progress. As a parent, it's a little bit like being a plate spinner, trying to keep all these things going. Like the plate spinner, you are rapidly shifting your attention among all the three, making decisions about how to build each while maintaining harmony among them. Sacrificing one means sacrificing all, because a child who is weighed down by external pressures without an opportunity to exercise autonomy, who feels alone and disconnected from others, and who believes in himself to be incompetent, is at a great risk for feeling a loss of meaning. It's difficult to watch your child go down a defeat in a sport that he doesn't play very well, but celebrate the fact that he took a risk and made choices. You're there to comfort and encourage him because he is secure in your unconditional regard of him as a person. It isn't easy to witness your teenager select high school courses that aren't aligned to their goals, despite your advice. But understand that she is exploring her autonomy and actions, and in the aftermath of the regrets she may suffer, you're there to console her about next steps. It's all a balancing act, and no parent or school ever gets it 100% right every time with every child. We can remember to provide lots of opportunities for developmentally appropriate choices to build autonomy. Help your child set goals and process their goal attainment and goal failure in equal measure. Unconditional regard is most important when your child struggles, but it might also be a time when they have trouble perceiving it. Make sure your children know who they are. Make sure your children know you are there for them always. You don't expect perfection from your child. Extend the grace to yourself.
Mindframe 8. I appreciate the power of feedback and the place for praise as well as errors. Feedback is used to advance learning by bridging what the student currently does to that which he is not doing yet. The type of feedback that work especially well are feedback about the task, feedback about the process, and feedback about the self-regulation required. Less effective in the context of learning is feedback about the individual as a person. Simply saying, "You're awesome," doesn't give the learner much guidance about what to do next. In the context of parenting, praise is appropriate, especially in measured doses. When you do praise, make it matter by using the things they can control, such as their effort and their actions, and not their talent or ability. This can actually have the opposite of your intended effect, as it can cause your child to avoid challenge and stick only with what they know how to do. Expand your repertoire by providing effective feedback about non-academic situations. The advantage of doing so is that it provides your child with knowledge about what they should stop, start, or continue doing. In other words, they can take action. You did a good job with the dinner and dishes, clean and dry. That's about the task. It seems like you were in a hurry and didn't finish. That's self-regulation. Remember that the job's not done until they're put away. That's the process. The errors they make in non-academic situations contribute to their learning, especially if you provide the kind of feedback that moves them forward. Some people call it constructive feedback because it's action-oriented and doesn't focus on the shortcomings of the person. Remember, use effective feedback to provide your child with information about what to start, stop, and continue doing. Love and encouragement are valuable. Praise efforts and actions to give them room to embrace challenge. And finally, naturalize errors by talking about your own and how you address them. Mindframe number 9, I know how to work with the school. Schools are partners with you in your learning, and as in any good partnership, each brings skill and strength to the collaboration. Partners in any endeavor bring out the best in one another when there is mutual respect. The unique contributions of each amplify the efforts of each other. Partnerships between schools and families provide a solid foundation for mutual growth. These partnerships are best built before there is any conflict. However, even in conflict, partnerships can be forged. The National Parent-Teacher Association offers guidelines for developing and maintaining the ways for schools and families to work together in healthy and beneficial ways. Their first recommendation is welcoming all families into the school community. This requires not only that schools create a productive climate, but also that families are welcoming to one another. An inclusive climate depends on every member, including those with differing cultural, racial, economic, and family structures from your own. Families should also seek to be active and engaged members of the school community. This looks very different for every family, and it's not limited to those who are able to volunteer. Effectively communicate by offering ideas and inputs for the common good, not just on issues that directly impact you or your child. Support student success by providing children with social, emotional, psychological, and physical nurturing that makes it possible for the school to build academic learning. Speak up for every child that extends the previous standard. Help advocate for those who struggle to meet the needs of their children, and partner with the school to attend to the needs of the most vulnerable. Share power with the school through a willingness to debate ideas, listen to one another, and find win-win solutions. And finally, collaborating with the community is at the heart of working shoulder to shoulder with your child's school. The school as an organization is a manifestation of the community it serves, including those who do not have an enrolled child. The school is an arm of the community at large. As a member of the community, you use your voice to connect the school to resources. The school is also a member of the community and seeks to leverage community resources to benefit those it serves. Remember, strong partnerships between you and the school are dependent on your willingness to do so. Effective partnerships need honest and growth-producing communication that is oriented to finding mutually beneficial solutions. And finally, families advocate for their own children, other families, and the community at large.
Mindframe number 10. I am a parent, not a school teacher. You are your child's first and best teacher. Your child looks to you as a model of how to move through the world. Parenting is a huge undertaking that shapes a child's identity and actions. From you, they learn the moral and ethical responsibilities that will guide them for the rest of their lives. We offer this mind frame as a reminder about the essential role you play in the life of your child. This mind frame is intended to encourage you to give the grace to yourself and extend it to others. There are also people that you bring into your child's life because of the skills they possess. The pediatrician, the dentist, and athletic coach each provide a service that improves your child's life from one form or another. Add teachers to that list of knowledgeable adults that play a part in your child's development. In the crisis of teaching in the spring of 2020, parents did heroic things in partnerships with schools to keep some semblance of learning happening. Now we want to lift some of that burden from your shoulders. Remember, a lot of the minutes spent in the physical school focus on things your child already knows. Thus, there is time to ensure your child learns what they need to do. The ideas given in this course, our Student Wellbeing and Successful Online Learning course, and Learn's Family University sessions are intended to illuminate the important things you do to support your child's learning. They are ideas. We don't expect you to do them all. Importantly, we don't want you to feel as though you need to be your child's chemistry teacher too. Distance learning is planned and crafted with long-term outcomes in mind and provide your child with more coherent schooling experience. And your child will learn. Implement the basics from our first Family University session. Do what you can to assist in learning. Ensure your child's well-being and work to develop the mind frames in this course, and all will be well. We encourage you to be comfortable asking for help from your child's teacher, school, or Learn. Your voice as a parent is crucial to improving schooling for all students, but we can't help if you don't say something. Please reach out to us at any time. Our contact information is on the screen. Be comfortable with saying to your child, I don't know, when she asks a question about a subject she's studying. Follow it up with, how could you ask that question of your teacher? If a teacher shares some data with you and it's not clear to you what it means, speak up and say, please explain this so I can understand what it means about my child's learning. As a parent, you already have a big job. Do the things that make a difference in your child's life and understand that you don't also need to be your child's chief reading, mathematics, social studies, science, and art teacher. You can remember a parent is a child's first and primary teacher. Allow yourself the grace to not be the go-to expert on everything. Professional teachers are positioned to provide their pedagogical knowledge to foster learning. Communicate with your child's teacher, school, and district about what is working and when you need help. Encourage your child to communicate with their teacher directly about their learning.
Thank you for joining us in this course. Again, please do not hesitate to reach out to your child's teacher, to your child's school, or to us if there is anything that we can do to help support your child or you be successful during distance learning. We're in this together. All will be well. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.